Madam Clerk, are you ready to rock?
Yes, I am.
All right, then we're going to do it. At 7 p.m., we'll call the regular meeting of the Historic District Commission to order of Wednesday, May 7th. For purpose of the tape, can we call the roll, please?
Alec Kokoska.
Mike Brassfield.
Gary Roberts.
Jennifer Cook Riggin.
Laura Whitty.
Perfect. A quorum being present, we will move on to adoption of the agenda. Does anybody have any additions or corrections, changes to the agenda as proposed? Nope. If not, a motion to approve the agenda as proposed would be in order.
I move that we adopt the agenda of Wednesday, May 7th, 2025, as written.
I second.
Perfect. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Moving right along. Next item is the adoption of the minutes, which was in your packet and was very well done, I thought.
I have one comment.
Go ahead.
Under B,
Under
it
what?
says, under B, it's, section new business, subpart B.
Okay.
It says that, this may be completely moot, anyway, but it says the exterior paint color was discussed and color selected was Benjamin Moore, Kelly Green. It was my understanding that was not a Kelly green, that was a dark black green. So it was like a blackish dark green and not a bright Kelly green.
No, it
So
wasn't.
this is
But the card
incorrect.
she gave me showed that it did say Kelly.
It said Kelly, but
Is
it's
that the
not,
Kelly?
it's not Kelly green. It's a
Okay.
dark, it was a dark
Yeah.
blackish green.
Almost gray is what we saw, right? Like a really deep tone.
It was
Green.
almost like
Right.
black.
Almost black.
Almost
That
black.
looked green, so it's not, I know it may have said that, but it's definitely not a Kelly green.
Then I will make that correction.
Okay. But the rest of that application is no longer before us, so.
Yeah, it
that
may be
a
completely
moot
irrelevant,
point.
so,
But
I mean,
if they want
I don't
to
know.
bring that back, we've already approved a color change, so.
Yeah.
We're fine. Okay. All right, thank you. Then, is there anything else, Laura? No. Then, motion to approve the minutes as submitted would be appropriate.
With correction.
Well, is there going to be a correction?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I need to make
Review of
it
the
black,
correction.
but it's
Yeah.
actually the color, so it will be with the correction.
Okay. As corrected
So
for the color change.
I'll move that we approve the minutes of the regular meeting from Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025, with a correction to the color scheme under new business section B, bullet point 4.
Okay. Is there a second to that?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. So the card, just for my own information, I thought you just said the card was the dark,
It wasn't dark, but she had wrote on it Kelly Green.
oh,
But
she had written that on it.
Yeah.
I got it, okay, I got it. I'm.
I don't recall what the color name, I don't know if she knew the name of the color when we asked
But
her
clearly it's not
here at the
Kelly
meeting,
green.
but it was not like an Irish spring green.
Yeah.
Wasn't leprechaun green or anything like that. It was
Okay.
super dark green.
Next on our agenda is section 5, which is public comments. Is there anybody in the audience here that would like to speak to something not on the agenda? If you're on the agenda, we'll get to you, but if it's not on the agenda, you have a chance right now to come forward and do what you want to do. Seeing no one raise forward, we will move on to the next thing, which is new business, item 6A, which is the replacement of exterior window trim, replacement of exterior doors, and addition of a brick stone veneer to the bottom for the building at 32800 Franklin Road. Is there an applicant here for that? Good, sir, could you just step up to the microphone and restate your name and affiliation with the project?
Yes, my name is Enes Kesto, St. Joseph Building. I am the contractor for the interior of the building, now moving on to the exterior of the building.
Okay, great. And maybe we could just, we do have some photographs here. Let's start with the easier one first.
All right.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the doors, the door that you're proposing to use here,
Yeah, so we're going to start with the front door. The
which is the door that we're looking at?
Yep.
right?
As you see with the proposal, we wanted to change it to something where it's got more windows because the hallway is dark. Even with the lighting in there, it just feels very dark. So we're proposing something where there's a window on the door and then larger windows on the sides of the door. So something to that style.
So the door and side light.
Yep,
Now,
door side lights, yeah.
The right-hand image down there is very much arts and crafts type of thing.
Right.
The left-hand one, is this
Just
multiple
plain-
choice here?
Yeah, it's kind of like,
Okay, good.
yeah, the owner is kind of going back and forth whether she wants them to be frosted or more open. I think she's leaning a lot more towards just more open. So we're gonna most likely end up going that route, where it's just pure glass.
And just with the local vernacular, basically farm-oriented structure, the plain square windows would be better than
Yep.
anything that had all that
Yeah,
fussy work to it.
Yeah,
That'd
she
be
would-
work-
she would
that
agree with
work
that
in
too,
some
yeah.
of our buildings, but not this one. very
yeah.
well.
Yep.
So, I don't know, well, let's just open up to the board there. Alex, what do you think?
I like the left side.
Left?
Clear glass.
Left?
Fits
Left.
Yeah.
the look.
Laura? Okay, so
Yeah.
what you're hearing up here is left is good.
Yeah, the owner is heavily leaning towards the one on the left too, so that she's not gonna have an issue with
I
that.
think that'll be very much
Yep.
more in keeping.
Gary,
Yeah.
the only thing I had was, right now there's mullions in the two windows on there. Do we have any carryover concerns?
I don't think so. I think this whole six-panel thing is
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
what he's proposing is better than what we got.
Agree.
Yeah. So thank you for that. Yes, Jennifer?
Fiberglass?
Yeah, it is fiberglass. The doors and windows are a different thing. The fiberglass doors tend to not twist as much as a wood door does.
Yeah.
If you paint them to look like wood, we put it in that category.
Yeah, actually, a lot of the fiberglass doors now have that wood grain like texture to it, so to the naked eye, it looks like a wood door, but
And we're
Yeah,
gonna stick
fiberglass.
with wooden windows as our kind of game plan for everything going
Yeah.
forward. But in this case, I'd be okay with the fiberglass, wood appearing door.
yeah,
So this door is the front door. What about the rest?
the rear doors we would do the same thing. So if you scroll down, I have a picture of the existing doors, and we would make them all glass as well. Actually, one of the doors is already like this. It's just
Yeah.
because it has a lot of
Can you go back up just a
Damage to
little
it?
bit so we can just glance quickly at the doors that are there?
yeah.
So the one in the center is what you're sort of,
Yep, the one in the center, yeah.
yeah.
Now, those are steel doors, and there are a lot of rust on the bottom, as you can see. Actually, we took the plate off that one, so you can see that's what's been happening with them. So I'm proposing also fiberglass, just because you'll never have that issue with them as well.
And so where there is a side light, are you gonna leave the side
Yep,
lights?
side light will stay.
And where
just the
there
doors.
isn't, we're just gonna get this door in white here that scrolls down.
Yeah, well, it would be painted to match the trim color that was
No,
proposed
I'm on
earlier.
the screen, the one below here.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, yep.
Yeah,
It'll look like that, yeah.
okay. That is interesting.
No concerns.
A concern, Michael?
That's fine.
No, fine.
No, you guys, okay.
Yeah.
So I think we're good with that. Now, let's move on, if we would, to the next, well, wait, let's back up. Can you describe a little more carefully about the brick, stone detail that you're talking about?
Yeah, that was, I think, a typo on my part. We're not adding, we're looking to, actually, if you scroll down to the first picture of the front of the building, the very
Back
first,
up.
the very first
Back to the
picture.
top.
Back to all the way to the top.
Sorry, you get your workout.
Or, actually, I think you had it on a different,
Oh, that
I
was
think you had it on a different tab.
That you had up, Tina, before you. clicked
Sorry
on
about
the
that.
agenda.
Oh, the brick.
Yeah, I must have missed putting, yeah, but the brick that's on the bottom of the windows in the front, a lot of them are broken. So the cost of repair is almost the same as cost of just taking everything out and putting brand new brick in there. So we're proposing to just change the brick and maybe go to a more natural, like gray color, because we are going to paint all the green trims to gray, which was already approved back in January, I believe.
There's no other brick on this building, is there?
No, just there.
So somebody added that sometime when they added those bay windows, apparently.
It does look like it was stone back in this photo, way back in the day. It
Yeah.
was like a rubble stone.
Yeah. So we would do either stone or veneer, more towards gray, just to match the aesthetics of the building. Because when we,
A gray stone would fit your motif a lot
Yeah.
nicer than the.
yeah, like some kind of, yeah, like they're like kind of mismatched looking stones,
What
yeah.
does the photo show?
Yeah.
What
so
kind
this
of
is
stone? Are they round
It's
or are
like
they-
almost like a rubble
Well,
stone.
that's in our new design guide.
That's in the.
It's showing the original building,
Got it,
which
yeah.
really brings the porch in.
That's the original photo of the house.
Oh, so I had like an enclosed
Yeah.
and everything.
We can get you one of those design guides.
Sure can.
Yeah.
Just what he wants.
So, yeah, the whole porch, just so everybody knows, that whole porch is somewhat conjectural too, and that these goofy, neoclassical columns, capitals on top of a porch, which used to come in below the upstairs windows. And, you know, it's just,
And they moved up.
you're stuck with that,
Yeah.
but that's not the way it was.
Yeah, I see from the photo, it looks like that looked nicer when it was,
No question.
Yeah.
No question. Okay, so I think you got some consensus here that a gray stone veneer over the, or, you know, at where the current brick is certainly acceptable.
Yep.
What about the pavers? You have quite a bit of detail.
yeah, so there is, all the brick pavers are, there's a lot of damaged spots. Some are broken, some are just misaligned. So to remove them all, to clean up and put them back in, would probably end up breaking or ruining a lot of the bricks. So proposing to, if we're gonna remove them to clean up, to just change the brick color and type. Well, they'll be the same type, a brick, I'm sorry, it'll just be changed to a gray, which actually, if you scroll down a bit.
These
I
are
have,
really a concrete product.
Yeah, yep. So that'll look something like that.
Okay, and you're gonna do that on the retaining walls too?
No, the retaining walls will remain.
Okay,
Yeah, we're not gonna touch the retaining walls, they'll just stay where they're at.
okay.
Yeah, we did have a landscaper come out and just did a lot of landscape cleaning. But yeah, the retaining walls seem to be perfectly fine, so we're not gonna touch them.
Okay. Here again, I'm looking for any complaints. Michael? Jennifer?
Nope.
Laura?
Yeah, that would be even on the steps coming up on, for two of the doors, we would take those out too, and we'll do gray
Do the
brick as
new
well,
gray?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You think that'll look okay with the reddish retaining walls?
No, yeah, I don't think it's gonna look bad. I've actually seen a lot of homes where they have either like a reddish or more of like an ivory color retaining wall bricks when everything else is gray and it looks
Okay.
good. Yeah.
All right. So I'm not hearing much concern about the new gray bricks. I think actually that'll be nice.
Yep.
Certainly the fact that they're all kind of wobbly and busted up
Yep.
is good. Okay, let's move on now to the more challenging piece.
Yeah.
I brought along, and this is how old it is, but this is one of my college textbooks called Gardner's Art Through the Ages, which is the Bible for architectural and art terms throughout history. This detail that you're showing here, yeah, scroll down just a little bit, which is a very ornamented, classical sort of a scheme, goes back to, there's something called the Villa Rotunda by Palladio in 1523. And he introduces that element there as a neoclassical style. Again, he's looking backwards to include an element from something, but that's where that occurs. And I can show you that here. I can show it to you on another, come on up for a second. You might be interested because you're a student of this stuff. But here, see, this is Palladio, 1523, of the Villa Rotunda in Venice, or near Venice.
Yeah.
And there is the detail that you're talking about.
Yeah, I've seen it in person actually.
Okay, and later on, you know, this guy doing something in 1723 is emulating the whole mass and form of this perfectly symmetrical thing later on, and he's picking it up here. But in the context of a local vernacular sort of farmhouse-style building,
Yeah.
that's way afield, and what the Secretary of Interior would call a conjectural element, meaning we're making stuff up. It wasn't there before.
Right, right.
And so I really would like to see you rethink that piece of it.
Sure.
And if you looked at just something, you know, like with a heavier sill and a square board that added some width to it,
Yeah.
you could get what you're talking about here without all the ornamentation.
Yeah, and then even like maybe somewhere on the top we can have something with like a little bit of movement where it's not too much.
Yeah, not too
Yeah.
much. This is too much.
Yeah.
It really just wants to be square. But that's where that comes from, and that's why the Secretary of Interior doesn't allow us to add hung-on conjectural pieces like you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that that's, you know, it's not pretty or anything else. It just is, what we're looking at is some consistency and some uniformity
Sure.
in the rules and looking at the history of where it actually comes from.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, we'd like to pass on this and
Okay.
let you pick up, and maybe you could come back sometime and pick up a different detail.
Yeah, maybe I'll dig up some more examples and run them by the owner and see what style she likes
But
more.
I
But
think you
yeah,
could pick up the contrasting trim color, and just in a wider square boards that didn't have any ornamentation to them.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think you'd get 90% of where you want to go.
sure.
So, okay. Anybody have any objection to that?
No.
Okay, cool. Did we cover all of your building components? I believe that we did.
Did. I do have a question, so I know how to move forward for a future component, if
Okay.
you don't mind. So, parking lot. If we want to do some site work, would the process be make a site plan, bring it in here, once it's approved, then it goes to the building department, or?
If you change the parking,
Yeah.
you're gonna end up in a planning commission loop.
Okay,
If you leave it alone and just resurface it, you don't.
yeah,
But if you change it,
yeah,
our
Exactly.
esteemed manager will help you through that.
Either way, we would have you submit the site plan and get you properly permitted. If there's changes to the parking lot, then you would have to go through the planning commission before that permit would be issued.
Right.
If we're just resurfacing, then your plans are gonna be reviewed by Bill, who's been doing this along,
Yep.
and then issue your permit.
yeah, but I guess my question was, would I have to come here
No.
first, or just go strictly to planning? Okay,
You could just, if you have to go to planning, can go right to planning, and
Yep.
B, if you don't have to go to planning and you are able to obtain that permit, you're good to go.
okay,
Just for your information, our thing is, let's just take, you wanna replace a board. You have a board that's painted.
Yep.
You take the board off, you put another board on, and you paint it the same color, that's maintenance. We don't need to see that.
sure,
So the same way with the parking lot. You've got
Okay.
one, you're gonna put a new one over the top of it.
Okay.
repair.
Yep.
perfect.
Okay.
That answers my question.
All right then, what we need is a relatively complex
I
motion
know, that's what I was like, how do you
that picks up some of these concepts.
Yeah.
Anybody up for that?
Too much.
We can try.
You wanna try?
Sure. Okay.
All right, we'll
I
help
just
do it.
have one comment. So
Yes.
just about the brick or stone, I don't know how he's gonna talk about that, because was it decided if it's brick or stone? Underneath the bay windows.
It's a gray fieldstone look, right?
Is that what you're doing, a gray fieldstone? 'Cause
Yeah.
We also talked about exchanging bricks as well for that area. So-
Yeah, so that's just underneath the windows.
Yeah,
There's
that's
already
all
brick,
I'm talking
yeah.
about too. Are you
Yeah.
gonna do bricks there, or are you gonna do fieldstone look there?
Not sure exactly. I think she's leaning more towards brick.
Oh,
I'm
well,
personally
then,
leaning more
if you're
towards
not
stone.
sure, then we're gonna leave it out.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards stone because I think it'll look a lot
I'm
nicer.
sorry, I thought you had agreed to the stone when we were
Yeah.
talking about it.
Okay. I just
Apparently
wanted to
not.
clarify that.
Yeah,
Okay, well, that's a good point, because I thought we would, so we're gonna leave
Yeah.
that off of our motion, and we'll stick it in with the window trim next time.
okay.
Is that all right? Unless you
Um,
want to approve stone now.
yeah, if we approve stone now, I think I can convince her to do stone instead, yeah.
We can.
Yeah, there we go. She's not leaning, she doesn't have really much of a preference. I just prefer stone. It just looks a lot cleaner and nicer. A little bit easier to work with from my end
There
too.
you go.
And we could approve that today, and if plans change, then you have
Yeah,
to
come
come
back.
back
Yep.
with windows, you'd loop it back in,
Yep.
and we'd address it then.
Yeah,
Okay. So it feels
All
so-
right, so Jennifer, you got that, it's a fieldstone
Yeah,
look on
great.
that one.
Okay.
The doors are pretty
Yeah,
straightforward with the
doors are
glass,
straightforward.
and, and the bricks are here, which are as submitted.
As-
Many of these things are as
As submitted,
submitted,
except
so you
for-
can,
Okay.
we just don't want to end up with this.
Exactly. All right, so we are looking to motion to approve at 32800 Franklin Road, motion to approve, number one, the replace of the exterior doors with the clear glass option in the iron ore as submitted.
Yes?
The rear doors, fiberglass in the iron ore with as submitted with the big white, picture in the
Right.
thing. Number three would be to replace the existing brick facade in the front with fieldstone gray
yep,
as veneer
Veneer, yeah.
as submitted.
Right.
Not approved yet are the exterior window trims. As you've proposed, the trim style, we're asking you to relook at something.
Yeah, we can leave that out of the motion.
Okay, so we're gonna leave that out.
Just leave it out.
Leave that out. And then the pavers, number four, to approve the brick pavers at the front and back of the building with the steps leading into the building as the Holland pavers in moonlight gray,
As submitted,
as submitted. In accordance to,
with,
with The Secretary of Interior Standards, number 9,
Or alterations.
for alterations.
That was just stellar.
Love it.
That was a lot.
Is there a second to that?
Second.
It's been seconded. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed? You're good to go, sir. We'll look forward to seeing in the next round.
Good one.
Absolutely. Thank
You're
you.
making little
Thank you.
progress.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Next, we have somewhere, here we are, the replacement of the roof at 26006 Carroll. That is the Green residence. Yes, sir, please, could you just state your name in relation to the project?
Kurt Kondrarsky. I'm the owner of the roofing company of K. Kondrarsky Incorporated.
Okay, and you can speak for the owner and with.
Yeah, she's in North Carolina. I just kind of got thrown into this a little bit, so I don't know what I needed to do exactly, but I know that she wanted me to bring the shingle sample of which I was proposing to put onto the roof before I gave her the scope of work and the price and everything like
all of
that.
Okay, that's
But-
very good.
But this is a Certainty Landmark 40-year, which is called a Landmark Pro, which is a dimensional shingle.
Okay.
So it's on a few of the other buildings that are in the area.
And is that, I know, and is that the color that? you're
Yes,
proposing?
that is the color, the Moray black,
Very good.
that she liked.
Because they added, I think, this wood roof.
Yes, they
They
did.
did them.
It was,
It's been a long time.
yes, yeah.
Right. This is Pete, this is Mr. and Mrs. Green.
Yes.
They are enormous supporters of the historic district, including their contributions to the house next door and everything.
Yes.
So we want to be sure that
Yes.
they get their process here down straight. Is all the roof going to be, there's several different, you're going to do the whole thing, right?
Whole thing, yeah.
Whole thing?
All the cedars removed, right. Any bad plywood be replaced. All the new underlayments, the ice and water shields, the synthetic underlayments, proper ridge vents.
Yes.
Aluminum drip edge, all proper stack flashings, all valleys, ice and water shield.
Okay.
She hasn't decided whether to go with metal valleys or the asphalt valleys, but I thought the metal valleys would look nice, just because nothing builds up there. Ice and snow kind of moves out of it, and it's a low-pitched area, so a lot of ice and snow is gonna sit on that roof. That's why that cedar went bad so fast. The pine needles and the ice and snow,
Yeah.
steeper the roof, the less it sits on there.
Yeah, no, we get it. We've
And she didn't wanna put that back
replaced
on.
a lot of wood roofs and a lot of shingle roofs with a dimensional shingle like this in the.
I did the one right across the street for the Seifmans,
Oh, okay.
probably about 10 years ago. Removed the cedar and then put an asphalt roof on.